Hello everyone. So a while back, I did a video talking about the whole controversy of there supposedly being a three-way going on between Cyclops, Jean, and Wolverine and Jonathan Hickman's X-Men run. And if you go on my channel, you'll see that the video is gone. And the reason the video is gone is because I took it down. And the reason I took it down is because I've had time to think about it, and I've realized that that was an idiotic video of me to make. See, right now everybody's freaking out. Everybody's saying, oh, Wolverine and Cyclops, they're banging. There's all this evidence that, they're a couple now. Really look at it. Really look at the stuff people are talking about. There's nothing to it. There is no substantial evidence to that whatsoever, as of right now. And that goes for the three-way itself overall as well. Because the only thing that was backing that up was the little diagram of their rooms connected. And then one panel of the three of them, huddled together. And not even in a suggestive way, just a friendly way. The reason for their rooms being connected, isn't even important. To my understanding in Hickman's run, that's not even, that hasn't even really been a thing. It's just on the little diagram. And the reasoning for that could be any reason. I've seen a theory that it's because they're having secret meetings. Not sexual meetings, but secret meetings because they know something's up with something. I don't know. I just know that that's not necessarily what's going on there, and people were just jumping to conclusions, myself included. And here's the thing. If that were really what was going on, if they were really in a three-way relationship, and if Cyclops and Wolverine were bi and were banging each other, why would it be speculated? Why wouldn't it just be out in the open? And here's the reason why I ask that. Remember a few years ago when Marvel made Iceman gay? When they just took a character that had been around for 50 years and for those 50 years had been established as being straight, and they just made him gay? And not only that, but they made him flamboyantly gay and are still writing him like that, to my understanding. Yeah, if they were so proud about that and were putting that right out in the open, throwing all of that right in your face, why would they not be doing it with this? Why would this one need to be covered up? Now, it could be revealed that, yeah, that's what's actually happening. They could have some kind of a big thing that, yeah, they're all in a three-way relationship. That could be revealed the day I upload this, and that'd be pretty funny. But as it is right now, there is nothing substantial backing it up. Not really. And on the subject of all the stuff that people are talking about right now, about how Cyclops and Wolverine are having sex and all that, I want you to really look at what they're saying. Like the bit where Wolverine makes a comment about Cyclops in a Speedo. First he says, Genie in a bikini, and then Scott says, and Scott in a Speedo. And then Wolverine says, well, who could say no to that? I'm sorry. Did everyone forget what sarcasm is? Because that whole scene comes off as just being there for comedic effect. I don't think that's implying anything. And if you think it is, I think you're reaching. And then there's another page where Scott talks about he and Jean are going to take the kids on a vacation, and he's asking Wolverine if he wants to come along. And people are saying, oh, look at that. That's more evidence of it being a three-way. No, not necessarily. The way I took that was that it's Scott asking a family friend if he wants to come on a family trip. The way it comes off to me is that Scott and Logan are past their rivalry now. There isn't a rivalry anymore. Not because they're sharing Jean, but because Logan's moved on. He's not trying to get with Jean anymore. There's no threat from him anymore. And yes, he made the comment about Jeannie in a bikini. Well, Jean Grey is a very attractive woman. And that's the point. I feel like they're comfortable with each other now, that Scott knows Logan isn't going to try to take her. They're friends. Again, like I said, I feel like the scene with him talking about going on a vacation, that's him offering a family friend to go on a family trip. I think that that's something called character development. The two of them aren't in the same place that they were in the 70s. The point I'm getting at is there's a lot of explanations for what's going on here, but people are just fixated on one thing. And I think it's completely ridiculous. And while we're on the subject of Hickman's X-Men, I've actually started reading it. I have a friend who has read the first Dawn of X trade, and he said it was pretty good. I trust his word on these things, so I decided to go ahead and read it myself. Now, I haven't gotten the trade yet, but I was at my comic shop and I saw that they still had the first issue of the main X-Men book. So I went ahead and picked it up, and I liked it quite a bit. I don't know the context of who they're fighting in the beginning of the issue. I've heard people say, oh, the X-Men are bad guys now, and people say they're like a cult now, and I've heard a lot of people say, no, this is the X-Men as the X-Men, and like I said, I've got a friend whose word I trust who says that, yeah, it's the X-Men as the X-Men, so yeah, I don't know who they're fighting there, but I don't think that they're being villainous just based off of that issue. There was a lot of good stuff with Cyclops in it. He's actually written well. He was talking about how now all mutants are united on the island nation of Krakoa, which is confusing to me because I'm pretty sure he got launched into space, but we'll see where this goes. They all live together, and Scott's talking about how when his son, Cable, was born, how he was so terrified, not of being a father, because that's what he'd always wanted, but because he was afraid of the world he was bringing him into. But now he doesn't feel that way. And that's something that I really liked, because it addressed the fact that Scott actually, loves his kids. Because people love to bring up the first issue of X Factor, and how, oh, Scott left Madeline and Nathan in this stupid-ass plot contrivance from over 30 years ago that we're never going to let go, even though there was a ton of backtracking done on it. If you actually read the old X Factor books, you would see how Scott felt horribly guilty about up and leaving like that and actively tried to fix it. How when he got his son back, he actually took care of him up until Apocalypse put the techno-organic virus into him, and then he was forced to give him up, which also made him feel horribly guilty, even though it was the only option he had to save him. And then, if you read the Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix miniseries, which I very much recommend, you see him and Jean go to that future where they actually raise him, and you get a lot of good stuff of Scott being a father. You see when Nathan is being, affected by the virus and it's killing him, Scott, he stays behind. He says, I can't leave him. It's a really good scene where you see just, how much he really does love his son. Cyclops is not a bad dad. Yes, there have been stupid decisions made with writing him over the years. There have been stupid decisions made with writing just about every comic character over the years. They've been around for a long time, and they've had a lot of people writing them. You're bound to have stupid decisions made. But anyway, yeah. I liked the first issue. I appreciated the stuff with Cyclops. I think that Hickman's doing a fantastic job with them, just based off of that one issue. Again, I don't know if the three-way is an actual thing. I've seen barely anything to it as of now, and I don't believe that Marvel would cover it up if it were a thing. And again, could be revealed that it is, but it hasn't been yet. It's just speculation. And as it stands right now, I like what I'm seeing from Hickman's run. I'm gonna continue reading it because I want to make up my own mind on the series instead of just going off of what people on the internet have said. Just writing the series off because of what I'd heard was very much a mistake, and I regret doing that. So yeah, that's why I made the video, just to say that my view on that whole thing has changed. I think that everybody needs to calm down on this whole thing, and I'm actually interested in Hickman's run now. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I've got another video in the works. It's a comic conference, this time on Green Arrow the Longbow Hunters. So be on the lookout for that, and I'll see you next time.